Oleksandr Usyk will make his heavyweight debut on Saturday against last-minute replacement Chazz Witherspoon. The fight will take place in Chicago. Now, originally, there was talk of Usyk fighting Carlos Takam for his heavyweight debut. Don't know what happened there. Rumors were flying around that Usyk has been suffering from some type of injury for several months and therefore wanted somebody maybe a bit easier than Carlos Takam for his heavyweight debut. I don't know whether there's any truth to that or not. Then he was lined up more recently to fight Tyrone Spong, but he apparently failed a PED test, and so in steps Chazz Witherspoon literally at the last minute to face Usyk. Now Witherspoon, 38 years old, 6'4". He is indeed the cousin of former heavyweight champion Tim Witherspoon, but nowhere near as talented as his cousin Tim. I've seen Chazz Witherspoon fight a number of times over the years, most notably and most disturbingly against Seth Mitchell, where he was knocked out. He was stopped by Seth Mitchell, and Seth Mitchell was a very poor heavyweight contender indeed. I mean, some of you guys may remember him being knocked out by Jonathan Banks. So, yeah, Witherspoon hasn't been particularly active over the past couple years, as you can see here on his record. He's had one fight this year so far, so at least that's something recent. He only fought once in 2018, didn't fight at all in 2017, fought a couple times in 2016, also in 2015, 2014, etc., etc. Hasn't beaten anybody of note. As I say, the most notable names on his record would be Seth Mitchell, who stopped him in 3 rounds. That was back in 2012, a long time ago. Another name here, disqualified against Chris Arreola back in 2008. So that was a long time ago as well. And other than that, it's just not a who's who list, but a who's he list of boxing journeymen. He was actually trained, I think, at one point by his cousin Tim, but I don't believe he still is. Could be wrong. I'm not expecting him to put up much resistance against Oleksandr Usyk. He may be tough. He is a genuine heavyweight. He's a big guy. Usyk, not a massive puncher even at cruiserweight. I mean, he's got respectable power. You certainly don't want to leave your chin hanging out. And he can wear you down because he throws a lot of shots and he gets angles and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, maybe Witherspoon can go rounds with him. It's been a long time since Witherspoon was stopped. It was 2012 when he was stopped by Seth Mitchell. But of course, his opposition since then has been appalling. We'll see. I've seen some people complaining actually about the level of opposition here, but what can you expect as a last-minute replacement? You know, you're not going to get in a top 10 undefeated contender, are you? Or somebody who's a serious entity within the heavyweight division at that short a notice. It's not going to happen. Not in a week's notice or less than a week's notice. So it is what it is. And as far as the original opponent, some people complaining about Tyrone Spong, the original opponent for Oleksandr Usyk. Well, who do you think Evander Holyfield fought when he first stepped up to heavyweight? He wasn't fighting great fighters. I remember before Holyfield eventually challenged Buster Douglas for the undisputed heavyweight title, he was fighting people like Seamus McDonough. He was fighting people like Adilson Rodriguez. I mean, these are not good fighters, people. These are club fighters. Rodriguez was a club fighter out of Brazil. Seamus McDonough was a club fighter out of, I think, Boston. He was an Irish-American guy. He was fighting club fighters. Yeah, he did fight, I think, Pinkland Thomas, and although Pinkland Thomas by that point was pretty washed up, but still, Holyfield wasn't fighting great opposition when he first stepped up to heavyweight. He worked his way up to fighting better opposition. You know, fought Michael Dokes. Obviously, Dokes was well washed up at the time. Who else was there now? Alex Stewart, he fought him. He was actually pretty tough when he fought Alex Stewart. But yeah, Holyfield fought his fair share of poor opposition when he first stepped up to heavyweight. So if it's good enough for Holyfield, I don't see why it isn't good enough for Oleksandr Usyk. It's his first step up to the weight class. So, you know, let's give him a little bit of leeway here. And the rumor is, again, that he's been dealing with some injuries over the past few months. hence his choice of opposition here. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm personally looking forward to seeing Usyk anyway, just to see what he's like with the extra poundage. I want to see what he weighs in at, for one, and whether he's going to be way, way north of 200 pounds, whether he's going to be over 220. I'm interested to see, and how that affects his speed and mobility. So let me know what you guys think. I'm out.